With the record-breaking opening weekend at the box office for Deadpool and Wolverine, and so much positive fan sentiment surrounding the movie itself, maybe not the most well-written movie in the MCU, certainly, but in terms of people going there and being entertained and having a lot of fun, for the vast majority of people, that's what they felt coming out of this movie. The real question after that in the aftermath was, are we going to see a movie that actually holds well and actually plays well over the next several weeks? Are we going to have a repeat of something like Multiverse of Madness, which had a similar global opening weekend to Deadpool and Wolverine, but then fell off hard, historically bad at the box office, and failed to even reach $1 billion? Well, now that we've seen a full week of it in release, it's safe to say that's not going to happen with Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool Wolverine slashes R-rated Wednesday U.S. box office record, global crossing $600 million today. Now, this was written on Thursday. We don't officially have the Friday numbers yet, but it looks like it's going to be another massive second weekend for Deadpool and Wolverine at the box office. Deadpool and Wolverine pumping $90 million second weekend. So right now, projections are anywhere from kind of the mid-80s to maybe even potentially $100 million second weekend for Deadpool and Wolverine, which would be a fantastic hold for something that made over $200 million in that opening. And when you do compare the performance of something like Deadpool and Wolverine to what we saw from a failure for the MCU in Multiverse of Madness, it's pretty telling, right? Multiverse of Madness right here. Let's go down. You see a 67% drop in that second weekend, and then it just continued to flatline it and really not be that powerhouse they expected it to be after that opening. When you take these day-by-day comparisons for this is Deadpool and Wolverine compared to Multiverse of Madness, it's not even close. Look what it did during the week. 24, 25 million, 19 million, 18 million. Doctor Strange, a completely different story. You're talking about Deadpool and Wolverine doubling up Multiverse of Madness during the week, and I do think it's going to have a great hold at the box office. And it certainly makes you wonder, right? With everything we've seen from the Marvel Cinematic Universe over the last several years, they wanted to move away from straight white males. They wanted to move away from all these heroes that people actually cared about, all in the name of diversity and representation. They made that crystal clear. Back in 2018, 2019, that's when they said they wanted to take that route going forward. It's been an abomination because, quite frankly, they were taking characters that people didn't care about, characters that had failed in the comics over and over and over again. They weren't telling compelling stories. They weren't focused on entertainment. Instead, they were focused on an agenda. That was the major problem with all of these things. Well, now it looks like white and male is back in business, baby, because after the massive announcement at San Diego Comic-Con with Robert Downey Jr. returning, you can kind of see what they're trying to do moving forward. Now, I said before Deadpool and Wolverine came out, and I said it after it came out, that movie will have no impact on really the future of what they wanted to do in the MCU, because moving forward, you still have Captain America 4 that no one's interested in. You still have Thunderbolts that no one's interested in. You still have two terrible Disney Plus shows in Ironheart, if it ever sees the light of day, and Agatha all along. Most of these are probably going to be failures in streaming and at the box office. But now there is something different that people have to talk about when it comes to the future of the MCU. And all of that kind of ties into rumors that have started swirling over the past couple months that, as activist heavy as they were and have been for years, that Marvel really wanted to change some things. Rumor, Marvel Studios cleaned house and fired activist producers. Now, this is from that Park Place, and the rumors comes from our friend Chris Gore at Film Threat. And he's said this a little bit over the past couple months. I do know people who worked at Marvel. They've cleaned house. They quietly months ago fired a lot of producers that could be labeled activists. Unlike Lucasfilm, Lucasfilm is lost. They're doubling down on all the nonsense. You'll never get anything good out of Lucasfilm and Star Wars. That's it. Kevin Feige recognizes, basically said it, we tried it, it didn't work. He's talking about Phase 4, it didn't work. No Kang, none of these side characters that don't have legacy of classic characters. And if Deadpool Wolverine proves anything, you've heard that phrase, male and pale is stale. That was spoken aloud across studios. But if you look at the box office this year, I would say male and pale is money. And that's the phrase I think more people should adopt. Now, it's hard to believe that Marvel's really willing to turn all of that around, all of these things that they have done. I will say this. I talked about it before when I made that Robert Downey Jr. video. I'd heard about the Robert Downey Jr. stuff about a month before it officially not only got announced, but also the rumors started swirling about that. I'm not a breaking news guy. I'm not a sources guy, anything like that. But I'd heard similar things that Chris is talking about, where he's saying Marvel recognizes they made massive fucking mistakes and it didn't work out. Now, whether that's because they're really rejecting woke identity politics, or whether it's because they just realized it wasn't fucking profitable, a lot of people may still feel that way and want that, but they need to get back to something that makes money. I can't speak to that at all, but that does kind of line up with things I'd heard as well. The truth is, regardless of the massive box office Deadpool and Wolverine is about to have, regardless of Robert Downey Jr. coming back, and people are very split about that decision, it's going to take a while before people actually truly believe that Marvel wants to change, that they're willing to change. We still have a female Silver Surfer instead of Norrin Rad in this Fantastic Four movie. There are still massive problems at Marvel that do need to get fixed. But it might be some indication they've realized how badly they've fucked up, and whatever their motivations, they do want to get fans back on board. We'll see if this all plays out in an actual way that makes people happy and doesn't just further infuriate them. The Robert Downey Jr. return, if they pull it off, could be insane and crazy, but I also think it's a very difficult thing to do, to bring back a character like this in a role like that, and it could easily backfire in a massive way and destroy a character that people really truly care about with Tony Stark and Iron Man. What do you guys think about this, though? The Deadpool and Wolverine box office, you'd think it would send a message to people. Maybe it will be the wrong message, that cameos are all people want instead of just characters we care about. But what do you guys think about the success of Deadpool and Wolverine? And do you think Marvel could potentially be genuine about wanting to get back to storytelling and making money instead of activism? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.